Okay, so you want to own a gym. You've seen the New Year crowds. You know the memberships never cancel. You were thinking, passive income, a building full of paying members, maybe your name above the door. Here's the thing. The gym business is built on people paying for something they don't use. And the moment they actually start showing up every day, your margins get squeezed. Your best customer is the one who signs up in January and ghosts you by March. The economics are stranger than you think. But here's what's also true. Some gym owners are genuinely printing money, and the difference between the ones who win and the ones who fold comes down to understanding exactly how the model works. So what does it actually cost to open one? The range is wild. On the cheap end, a no-frills CrossFit box or small personal training studio can open for as little as $20,000 to $50,000. Used equipment, a warehouse lease, some rubber flooring, done. A standard independent gym. A real one with cardio machines, free weights, showers, and a proper lease. That's closer to $200,000 to $500,000. You need somewhere between 3 and 10,000 square feet. In most mid-sized markets, commercial space runs $4 to $8 per square foot per month. That's $3,000 to $8,000 a month before you bought a single dumbbell. Equipment is the next punch. A commercial-grade treadmill runs $15,000 to $30,000 each. Stock a full floor and you're looking at $50,000 to $150,000 just in machines. Then there's build-out. Showers, locker rooms, HVAC upgrades, signage, mirrors, flooring at another $50,000 to $200,000 depending on the state of the space. If you go franchise, the numbers scale up fast. A Planet Fitness franchise requires a total investment of $1.5 to $4.9 million. Anytime Fitness sits between $78,000 and $500,000 depending on location and fit out. So by the time you've signed a lease, bought equipment, and opened your doors, you've spent anywhere from $50,000 to $5 million. And not a single member has walked in yet. Okay, so how do you actually make money with one? The core product is the membership. Budget gyms like Planet Fitness charge $10 to $25 a month. Mid-range independents charge $30 to $60. Premium clubs charge $80 to $150. Boutique studios, think Barry's Bootcamp or SoulCycle, charge per class. Often $30 to $40 a session or $200 plus per month for unlimited access. Here's the key thing to understand. Memberships are a volume game at the low end and relationship game at the high end. A typical Planet Fitness location carries 4,000 to 5,000 paying members. Their clubs are roughly 20,000 square feet, designed to hold about 300 people comfortably. But 4,000 members never all show up at once. That's the whole model. They're selling access, not attendance. You need a specific kind of customer, motivated enough to sign up, not quite motivated enough to come every day. Beyond memberships, there are 4 other revenue streams that separate the gyms that survive from the ones that don't. First, personal training. Sessions run $50 to $150 an hour. The gym typically keeps 30 to 50% of that. A single trainer doing 20 sessions a week generates $10,000 to $20,000 a month in revenue for the facility, for showing up to someone else's workout. Second, group classes. Pack 15 people into a room, charge $15 to $30 a head, and you've made up to $450 in a single hour. One instructor, one room, 1 hour. Third, supplements and retail. Protein powder, energy drinks, branded gear. Low effort. 40 to 60% margins. Fourth, premium add-ons. Tanning, sauna, childcare, massage chairs. Planet Fitness charges an extra $25 a month for their Black Card tier, which unlocks things like tanning beds and guest passes. Roughly 40% of their members upgrade. That's free revenue on a customer who's already paying you. The gyms that make real money stack all of these. Members pay monthly. Trainers pay commission. Classes fill the off-peak hours. Add-ons layer on top without adding a single extra staff member. And what's the stuff nobody warns you about? Start with the utility bill. Running a gym burns through electricity like nothing else. You got HVAC running 8 to 14 hours a day, hundreds of machines plugged in, hot water on demand for showers. A mid-sized gym easily runs $2,000 to $5,000 a month in utilities alone. Then equipment breaks. Commercial treadmills are under constant punishment. Belts snap, motors burn out, touchscreens die. Budget 2 to 5% of your equipment's value per year just for maintenance and replacement. Insurance is another hit. General liability for a gym runs $2,000 to $10,000 a year. If someone tears a muscle, drops a weight on their foot, or slips on a wet floor, you're exposed. Add professional liability coverage for employed trainers and the bill grows fast. Then there's churn. The average gym loses 15 to 20% of its membership base every single year. You have to replace those members constantly, or revenue slowly bleeds out. Marketing is never free. Expect $500 to $2,000 a month just to keep the pipeline filled. And staff. Even a lean operation needs front desk coverage, a manager, and cleaning staff. That's $8,000 to $20,000 a month in payroll before you've hired a single trainer. Here's the one nobody talks about, the January surge. Every gym owner loves January. Sign-ups spike. The floor is packed. The numbers look great. February comes, attendance falls. By March, the ghost members are still paying, which sounds perfect, except you spent your January profit marketing to acquire them. The real danger is building your cost structure around peak capacity. If you hire extra staff and take a bigger space for the January crowd, you're bleeding cash every month when March goes quiet. So who's actually doing this well? Start with the most obvious example. Planet Fitness. They cracked the model and scaled it into a machine. Average Planet Fitness location generates about $1.5 to $2 million in annual revenue. EBITDA margins, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization run around 30 to 40% for a mature club. On a $2 million club, that's $600,000 to $800,000 in operating profit. Franchise investment tops out around $5 million. On paper, a 12 to 16% annual return. Not glamorous, but steady. Planet Fitness went public in 2015. At its peak, the company was valued at over $8 billion. That's a $10 a month gym worth $8 billion. On the boutique end, Barry's Bootcamp. Founded in West Hollywood in 1998, it turned a 45-minute treadmill and weights class into a $35 ticket. Flagship locations reportedly generate several million dollars a year in revenue. Small footprint, high ticket price, low equipment overhead, the margins are steep. Then there's CrossFit. CrossFit boxes are among the most capital-efficient gym businesses you can open. A well-run box with 150 members paying $150 a month generates $22,500 in monthly revenue. Operating costs. Lease, equipment, coaching run $8,000 to $12,000 a month. That's $10,000 to $14,000 a month in profit. $120,000 to $160,000 a year from a warehouse with some barbells in it. The CrossFit brand itself sold in 2020 for around $200 million. And on the flip side, Gold's Gym, one of the most iconic names in fitness. Founded in Venice Beach in 1965, home of Arnold Schwarzenegger's training years, the original Temple of Iron. Gold's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in May 2020, citing the pandemic, but the cracks were already there. Decades of high fixed costs, expensive real estate, and a brand that couldn't separate itself from cheaper competitors. COVID just accelerated what was already breaking. So how do people actually lose their shirt on this? The most common failure is simple. They miscalculate break even. Here's how it happens. You lease 10,000 square feet, sign a 10-year lease, buy shiny new equipment, and launch with a promotion. 300 members sign up in month one. You feel great. But your monthly expenses are $45,000. At $40 a member, 300 members brings in $12,000 a month. You are losing $33,000 every single month. To break even on expenses alone, you need over 1,100 members. In a competitive market, in a space that holds a few hundred people at peak hours, getting there takes years. Most don't make it that far. The 10-year lease is still running. The equipment loans are still due, and the doors close. Industry estimates put the 5-year failure rate for gyms at roughly 80%. Okay, so what can you actually walk away with? Let's run 2 scenarios. Realistic first. You open a 3,000 square foot independent gym in a mid-sized city. Startup cost, $150,000. Monthly rent, $4,500. Equipment loan, $2,000 a month. Staff, 2 part-time front desk, 1 manager, $9,000 a month. Utilities, insurance, marketing, $4,000 a month. Total monthly overhead, $19,500. You build to 400 members at $45 each. That's $18,000 in membership revenue. You're still short, but you have 4 trainers running personal sessions. Commissions bring in $6,000 a month. Group classes add another $2,000. Total revenue, $26,000 a month. Profit, $6,500 a month or $78,000 a year. Not rich, but real. Now the optimistic scenario. Same gym, but you've built 600 members, added premium add-ons, and your trainers are fully booked. Membership revenue, $27,000 a month. Personal training commissions, $12,000. Classes in retail, $5,000. Total, $44,000 a month. Same overhead, $19,500. Profit, $24,500. Or $294,000 a year. That is a genuinely good business, and it's achievable. IHRSA, the fitness industry's leading global trade association, has consistently found that clubs combining personal training with group programming report significantly higher profit margins than membership-only operations. Multi-unit Planet Fitness franchisees, operators running 10 to 20 clubs, regularly clear over $1 million a year in personal income. The real winners in this space aren't the ones with the flashiest equipment or the biggest floor. They're the ones who nail their member count math before they sign the lease, stack multiple revenue streams from the very first month, and build a community sticky enough that people don't cancel even when they stop showing up. That last part is the whole game, so here's where we land. You can absolutely make real money owning a gym, but you won't make it from people working out. You'll make it from people paying to feel like they could. Welcome to the fitness business.